like the rushing of a mighty wind, like the rushing of a mighty wind.
What's your thought? Do you think that Drake is a foundational Black American?
No, I would call Drake what he calls himself. He says he's Canadian. Who am I to say, no, you're foundational Black American? He says he's Canadian. He's Canadian.
Right. So doesn't the lineage supersede with you know, like you say it doesn't matter if somebody believes they're Indian or Moor or Hebrew Israelite, they're still FBA or Pan-African, whatever.
Well, that's a little different because I heard you and Tariq. That was probably the best you ever did, by the way. That was the honest you ever been. You finally asked some good questions. Those are good questions, but I think you just found a gray area in this whole thing,
and you know, an unbiased Khan is giving it up like that. It was more than just a gray area. It was a dark gray area. You know, because I agree that is a good question, and I'm happy that at least unbiased Khan acknowledged it as a good question. But let's just dive a little bit more into what his response is.
When I was listening to it, I'm like, you know what? That just got to be worked out. Like Tariq said, most of us don't have that problem. So yeah, the exception is going to the people who's in that condition. Yeah, they're gonna have a rough time. You dig? And that's why we try to say, hey, they within your lineage, you know, and your citizenship, so you ain't got to worry about you like that. But yeah, that.
So he said that's just something that has to be worked out. That's just something that's just going to have to be worked out. And, you know, I don't know, like, how long is it going to take for this to get worked out? You know, let's say they pass the reparations bill, the money is put aside, you know, will they set aside money from that for people who have to sort their stuff out? You know what I'm saying? Like, will they wait on people to sort their stuff out? Or will the money, because it's only a set amount of money that's going to be, you know, put aside for reparations, I'm assuming. So will they put aside some for the people who need some time to show that they really are FBA? Is that how that's going to work?
I think there's a lot of curves and turns in there, which is kind of hard to like define. I don't think we really sat down and thought about it to that in depth with that situation.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, I didn't realize till after Drake.
He said he doesn't think they have thought about it as much as they should have yet. It's not something that they've thought about yet. You know, someone like Drake, who has a mother who is an FBA, I think it's his mom is FBA. But only one parent, he's an American citizen, but he grew up in Canada. Like, does he have any claim for, you know? And that's a gray area according to Ron. That's a gray area that they just haven't thought through yet. And I'm hoping that, you know, as they speak, they kind of get through the thinking through of it. Because I think that's going to be important to know. I think that's going to be important to know.
You know, U.S. citizenship by way of his father. He has birthright citizenship. So that's something I didn't even know.
Yeah, so for me to like even look into that, I gotta check out like both of y'all know more than me as far as Drake background. So I would have to like really, come on, let's get water. You want a damn donut instead of real food? Yeah. So both of you know more than me as far as Drake background and his citizenship. You know, I don't know much about it. I would have to like look into it before I give you any thoughts on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that one seems to have them stumped. That question right there. I would love to hear the conversation that Kwame had with Tariq on this topic. Yeah, I would love to know. Kwame, if you're out there, if you end up listening to this video later, if you want to drop a link for the video that you're in asking Tariq about these things, and because I would just really like to know what his responses were to it, because those are quite legitimate questions to ask, and I think they do kind of throw a curveball into the FBA ideology, and I think it kind of shows the failures in it. But let's listen some more.
Before we shift gears there, because I heard like a lot of the Kyrie and all that type of stuff. So before we get out of Drake too fast. Okay, so again, Drake would be in a gray area. So there wouldn't be no yes or no. That will be worked out. So there's a lot of people, there's a lot of questions when they were trying to determine who gets.
Drake would be, there's no yes or no for whether Drake gets reparations or not. We are not sure whether Drake is going to qualify for reparations yet. Drake, the multi-millionaire Drake, we don't know if he's going to qualify for reparations yet.
Reparations, and we start talking about lineage, that type of stuff. Drake would be in a gray area, so there wouldn't be no yes or no. That will be worked out. So there's a lot of people, there's a lot of questions when they were trying to determine who gets reparations, and we start talking about lineage, that type of stuff. Even at the beginning of trying to figure out how to be determined who qualifies, even the 1870 census, all type of stuff, there was gray areas even then. And I remember Yvette and around their think tank was saying, okay, right, well, they just gonna be on hold, right, until we figure that out. But that's like tickets.
They're gonna be on hold. Drake's reparations money is gonna be on hold. We're gonna put that to the side. And then we're gonna pay everybody that we know should get it first. And then afterwards we work out those minor details about your lineage and how long you've lived in America. Are you a citizen? You may have lineage in America, you may have FBA lineage, but you're not really a citizen. You may have moved and you're a citizen elsewhere. Like, do you still get that money? They haven't thought that far through yet. But those are minor details. I mean, what percent of FBA people is their lineage going to be in limbo? Like, I mean, what percent of FBA can actually trace their lineage back to the 1800s? I don't know. I don't think it's as easy as we're making it appear to be. I don't think it's very easy. So I think that they may have more people on hold than people that will actually, get that payment. More people will be on hold than the people that will be allowed to participate in the program. So Drake will have a lot of company on hold. And again, based on how much money is set aside through, because I'm looking at reparations from, the Congress, the HR 40 bill that's going through, And I'm thinking it's going to be a set amount of money. I don't know if this is going to be just like an open fund which gets funded every year, and then once FBA finds out, who's really who, and once people sort their stuff out, once FBA sorts it out, we'll make an amendment to that bill and start funding it again for those people that weren't sorted out. I don't know if that's the expectation or if that's the vision of what to expect. But, it sounds like what naturally would be, though.
To it like a carnival or an event. Like your ticket is like kind of crazy looking where you can't really, or they can't scan it with their phone. They're going to put you outside the line, to get the line going. So unfortunately, for those people, and there's not a lot of people, but there are some. But until this is worked out, even Turkey, she was asked that same question and kind of concluded the same thing. Like, yeah, well, shit, unfortunately, it's going to be on hold until everybody's, they're going to be on hold and the line would just keep moving. Right. So he has a unique situation where it's kind of arguments favor his position and the arguments can go against it. So it's really going to come down to like anything else, like voting, or that's what it's going to come down to. Like people are going to vote something in, stand on it, and that becomes standard. So Drake will be in a gray area, and people like him will be in gray areas.
Right.
Yeah. So let's just hope you're not in the gray area. Let's hope you're one of those that's not in the gray area. Unbiased Khan seemed to think that the number in the gray area is going to be a lot less than the numbers that we are clear about. But I don't know if I'm that confident. But he seems to be. But I think we're going to find more people in the gray area than not in the gray area. And I think that that's going to cause some issues that they are not going to necessarily want to address, which is why I think they are choosing to not address it. Just seems to be one of those things that they'll address when they get to it, I guess. They'll address it when they get to it. Hopefully, all the people in the gray area will be as wealthy as Drake and will just decide they don't need the reparations anyway. So, hopefully that's how it works out, nice and smooth.
Yeah, you have to surrender, bro. You have to surrender to the minute.
I respect that. I respect that answer.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't respect that answer as much as Kwame did. Because it's a no answer. I don't respect that answer. It's just a no answer. We don't know what we're going to do with them. We don't know. We haven't thought that far. And I don't know if they can think further. I don't know how far they can think. So I don't necessarily respect that answer as much as Kwame did. I think Kwame kind of let them off easy with his response.
He says, Asada Shakur. Okay, so really, she's FBA. She's born here. As far as I know, FBA parents. Yeah, I don't know why she would be in question.
Because I know that she gave up her U.S. citizenship to go to Cuba. So I was just wondering, like, political prisoners
she's. And to answer your question, as far as I know, she's still old. It's like, what does that got to? She was old before she left. That's like somebody going to prison. And they're old. Yeah, I don't know why she wouldn't be.
Because when I spoke to Tariq, he kind of said you got to be a U.S. citizen and have blood, have FBA ancestry. Kind of like, like the Nazi slogan, blood and soil.
I heard that bad analogy. Wait, hold on, brother. Hold on. because I don't want to be long-winded. I just want to have a conversation where, you know, it's a couple words and you stop and no. Right now we just dialoguing, right? So
Yeah, go ahead.
yes. So now as far as that, I kind of lost my train of thought. So you said lastly you said the Nazi thing was a bad analogy. You know, like now you know better to compare. See, and that's when people like start to dismiss you from the panel because you know like that's the worst thing you want to do is compare anybody to Nuremberg laws or Nazi Germany. Like that. That's just a bad faith. Everything at that point. It's like no.
Yeah, as if. Yeah, I hear you. But it's not as if FBA don't compare tethers to white supremacists and say we're working for white supremacists. So, you know, if you can claim that tethers are working for white supremacists and we're the new face of white supremacy, then we can make whatever comparisons we want to make. At least I can. So, you know, if you live in a glass house,
Nobody wants to be compared to Hitler or anything affiliated with him. So when you do that, you're purposely being disrespectful and trolling. Even though I don't take offense, I'm just saying like I know how people take that. When you compare anything they do to Hitler, anybody in the world, unless they are Hitler or is on that type of shit, they're gonna take offense to that. So anyway, just stop doing that.
And you know, that may be true. People may take offense to it, but it was very clear. I think Tariq wanted to, you know, the fact that he used that term blood and land, I think he wanted to use that same type of thinking and that same type of phrasing that the Nazis used, blood and soil, blood and land. That's not by coincidence, I don't think. I think he was consciously aware of those two terms. And I think that is why he used it. I think he was conscious of it. So, you know, it's not as if people are just saying, oh, just out of thin air. Like, why would he use the same term that they were using? And then, you know, if you watch the video that I made, I think, you know, there are other similarities and other parallels that I think are quite valid. So, you know, I don't think it's that far off.
That's bad faith. All right.
Yeah.
So see, I kind of lost my train of thought when brothers started talking. So what'd you say before that? You said what'd you say before that? I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
Brother interrupted.
because Tariq said you have to have ancestry.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. And now I remember. I got you. Now I remember. So you spoke.
I'm asking,
I got you.
So I'm asking. Yeah.
Now we're moving on.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Let's go. Right. So you spoke to Tariq Nasheed, right?
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we've been trying to tell you as. Nobody's the leader. People can have an idea and it's worthy of entertaining. You put that like a job. You put your suggestion in the suggestion box. So that's something to like. So everything he says, you ask for an answer. Let's get the answer. Just like politicians and bills.
That wasn't me.
Okay.
That was your boy.
My fault. Not my fault. So just like, cause I'm used to people just cutting in. So like bills with politicians. When they put together a bill, some type of legislation, it's like picture perfect the way that person seen it, that legislator or politician seen it. This is perfect. But then to get it passed, other folks in that same party could say, nah, this won't get passed like this. And then they try to like critique it and omit and add to make it more favorable for the next party that got to pass it, right? Or Congress, they'll do that. So same thing with us. If somebody who's instrumental in opinions and make a little sense, those get thrown in there in that suggestion box, something to look at, something to vote on, or something to critique and take in, take out. So all these unique things, that would just be one of those. Like, okay, how do we look at this one? Then we'll come to the table, FBAs, no non-FBAs, come to the table, and we'll look at these unique situations that's far in between, right? That's not the case really for most people. I'm sure maybe 10 people others got something similar, but that's one of those things. But yeah, so we will, as long as the questions come about these things, we'll say, you know what? Yeah, let's look more into that. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I didn't think about that one, because most of us are not in that position. So we kind of think just for ourselves. Hey, I'm good, so I ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, there's somebody out there in that position. Yeah. So I wonder how many more. Okay, let's compare notes. You know, think tank on this, brainstorm and come up with something. That's all.
That's all, folks. You just got to have a couple of think tanks to think through how things are going to work. You know, they can't really think of everything on the fly. They're not going to know the answers to everything. So, you know, they're going to work it out as they go. It's a work in progress.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
It's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. Bad mind them up to one hygiene a do it. That's why enough of them get rifle a beat. Everybody want big ups and want to drive in a Jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she bike in a read. Not even 5 bills we can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep an eye open every time you go sleep. Cause mankind jealous and them idle go late. Them never yet plant and not try figure it. Bigger heads where you fight for the seat. Now care about the future nor the child where you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle we submit. The system will slide where you fit.
Inna the streets where we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life.
Everybody a priest and them want it though. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life. This a real ghetto life. Yeah. Everybody just a pre-success. When me looking at the street, you me see enough stress. Them all a fight for who reach up next. Everybody want floss and a beat up chest. Juvenile in a them teen love sex. Them a breed the fast money, them no need subjects. And if you're unfortunate, please don't vex. Also the things said cause the streets don't rest.
Inna the streets where we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life.
Everybody a priest and them want it though. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life. This a real ghetto life. Yeah. It's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. Bad mind them up to one hygiene a do it. That's why enough of them get rifle a beat. Everybody want big ups and want to drive in a Jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she bike in a read. Not even 5 bills we can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep an eye open every time you go sleep. Cause mankind jealous and them idle go late. Them never yet plant and not try figure it. Bigger heads where you fight for the seat. Now care about the future nor the child where you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle we submit. The system will slide where you fit.
Inna the streets where we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life.
Everybody a priest and them want it though. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life. This a real ghetto life. Yeah.